There's a lot to learn from these kinds of games. Kenny talked about there was a lot of things that you can take away. What are some of the things that you feel like you can adapt better?
Um, I think the way we started the game, we put ourselves in a hole. We're always going to fight back. There was no worry about that, I think. But when you fight to come back, it's hard. Against a team like that, it's hard. You put yourself in a bad position. But, just got to start the game off right. Obviously, you can point to certain possessions, rebounding, miscommunications. Just got to communicate better, get on the boards. At the end of the day, they out-rebounded us by 2. But, I think for us, especially early in the game, kind of getting those, we're just getting caught looking. But, we didn't make shots either, man. I think that's when we got good looks. We just missed them. So nothing to hang our head about, learn, and get better.
You guys had a couple of possessions at the end of the game where you were stifling them, but it came down to loose ball fouls, rebounding fouls that kind of gave them an extra possession without turning the ball over. How impactful can that be on the final score?
Huge. I think whether it's a foul, I take an aggressive foul in a box out. I live with those. The one possession I'm thinking of is ball goes up in the air. I think it's an air ball. I go in the rim and hits right to Peyton Pritchard. Those are the ones that hurt. Even the one that I stole from him, he got the rebound. It just happened to be a turnover. Those are the little things that kill us. The rebounding stuff, the fouling on the rebounding, it can go either way. Just being physical, I'm okay with those. But, I had 5 turnovers. I think just winning that possession game in itself, I think is huge. I got to give credit. But we did a lot of positives. We just missed some shots, and we'll be better. But like I said, we're always going to fight back. We're always going to be in games. Just a matter of the little things, and tonight just wasn't our night.
What's the primary challenge in dealing with Porzingis?
Just the pick and pops. I think for us, just not overreacting to his twos. He's a talented player in the mid-range, but obviously from 3 is really where he gets going. So for us, it's making it tough. He shoots it, he makes it. You got to live with something. You know what I'm saying? So I think that'll something we'll look at, and figure out. We've seen him we didn't see him in the playoffs. Sorry, we've seen him, twice or 3 times this year, maybe. Just figuring those things out. He's a hell of a player, but I think we have the guys that we'll figure it out, and we'll be fine.
What can Evan learn from tonight?
If you're not impacting the game on the offensive end, how can you still find ways to be effective? And he's done it all year. He's been phenomenal. I don't think this is something that he's going to hang his head about, nor should he. It's a learning experience, I talked to him, I got to find ways to get him involved, where it's not just him dribbling the ball up the floor trying to attack, not to say he can't, but more so just make it easy for him. You look at the fourth quarter, we come out, lob, and then he comes and gets to the basket. So just little things to kind of get him going, and I told him to be more vocal about it. I think that's, I'm not saying this is on him, I'm just telling him as he continues to progress, understanding, all right, 0 for 7, how do I get the ball in a position where, because it's natural, you're more aggressive, you're there when you get touched, you see the ball go through, you get to the free throw line. So I think for us and for him, just continuing just to find ways, all right, cool, ball's not going in, how do I find ways to continue to still be, aggressive on both ends of the floor, and something he'll learn from, and I have no doubt he'll be fine. It's just one of those nights.
You talked about missed shots. Kenny talked about how, maybe not as much cutting tonight. Is that something that Boston was doing defensively, or was it something that maybe you guys might have heavy legs?
I think we just, they play it to where it's 2-on-2, so it's pick and roll, and the guy, they kind of stay home, limiting our threes, which is credit to them. But I think for us, we can make it, like I said, cutting, their ball watching, being able to backside cut. I think Sam had one, but he didn't realize how open he was under the rim. Just little things like that, second actions, if it's a pick and roll into a pin down, kind of getting the move inside to side. We've done it, and I think for us, just continuing to learn from it, we'll be fine.
What version of Evan do you guys need to beat that team in the spring?
The same one we've seen all year. I don't think you look at tonight and question anything. I think for him, it's just a night, just a night, and that happens. You know what I'm saying? You don't look at OKC and I have 8 points and you're like, oh, this is who Donovan is. You know what I mean? You can't say that about F. Tonight, he had a night like that tonight, and it happens. The biggest thing is how do you respond and how do you learn, and I have no doubt that he'll respond. Just be who he's been all year. That's it.
What advice would you give to him? Because it's a national TV game. People will see this
I
and
mean,
will say, oh, that's who he is.
That's natural. But if you,
that's natural.
people were probably saying shit when I against OKC. Like, it's just natural. You don't play this game. No disrespect, we don't play this game for y'all. Like, we play this game for the guys in the locker room. We know what he's been all year. People are gonna say anything regardless. People are gonna say something because he missed a free throw. They fuck up a parlay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna happen. Excuse my language. Like, it's gonna happen. Everybody says something regardless. You could have a 50-point night, miss one free throw, and people be upset. So, don't worry about it. Don't trip. He's an all-star for a reason. He's continuing to get better, and this is just a learning experience. It's nothing to hang your head on. He's been dominant all year on both ends of the floor. Don't trip at all.
Kenny talked about having to stay disciplined against the Boston team, not overhelping on Porzingis after getting a couple good rolls. How do you guys stay disciplined and not overreact to little things throughout the course of the game?
Yeah, I think it's natural. I think if you see somebody score, you want to naturally be there to help and kind of do that. So I think just continuing to, understand that some possessions, that's just what you want. That's a shot we'll give up. It's a wanting to help thing, which I think we can appreciate as opposed to leaving guys on the island. So now it's like, okay, how do we pull that back? I'd rather you be more aggressive than less. You know what I mean? So how do we pull that back, rein that in? And that's what the regular season and games like this are for. You play to win, and if you don't, you learn and figure things out. So now we see, okay, man, we both reacted to a pin down. We both shouldn't have jumped out. He gets slips. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do we figure that out? You can't really learn unless you go through it. You know what I mean? So that's just stuff like that, and we'll be fine. We'll look at the film and be better. He presents a unique challenge, and I think that's a lot of respect to him and what he does, but I think for us, it's more so what we can do to be better than necessarily just him.
Without not having Isaac, not having me, obviously both of those guys could have helped you tonight. But trade deadline's coming up this week. Do you feel like, with Boston being the team, the team that you got to go through, do you feel like you got everything you need?
We're good.